Exodus, how are the magicians creating the same plagues as Moses and Aaron? This is a great question, so let's dig in. For context, in Exodus, God calls Moses and Aaron to confront Pharaoh and demand that he let the Israelites go to worship God in the wilderness. To confirm to Pharaoh that their message was from God, God gave them the power to perform miraculous signs and plagues. The odd part about this story is that on 3 occasions, Pharaoh's magicians were actually able to duplicate the miraculous signs. The first instance of this is in Exodus 7 when Aaron's staff turns into a snake. It says this, "The Lord said to Moses and Aaron, when Pharaoh tells you, perform a miracle, tell Aaron, take your staff and throw it down before Pharaoh. It will become a serpent." So Moses and Aaron went into Pharaoh and did just as the Lord had commanded. Aaron threw down his staff before Pharaoh and his officials, and it became a serpent. But then Pharaoh called the wise men and sorcerers, the magicians of Egypt, and they also did the same thing by their occult practices. Each one threw down his staff, and it became a serpent, but Aaron's staff swallowed their staffs. However, Pharaoh's heart was hard, and he did not listen to them, as the Lord had said.
In addition to this first sign, the magicians were also able to duplicate the first 2 plagues, turning water to blood and summoning frogs. After these first 2 plagues, though, they were no longer able to duplicate any other plagues or signs, and confessed that they were witnessing the finger of God. So if these signs and plagues were from God, how exactly were these magicians, who were clearly not followers of God, nor sent by God, able to duplicate these 3 signs? Well, there are 2 possible answers to this question.
The first is that the magicians received their power from Satan. This answer is supported by the fact that in Exodus 7, it says that they duplicated the snake through their occult practices. Although he is clearly not as powerful as God, Satan does have some semblance of power on earth and is able to deceive, emulate miracles, and even tell the future with some degree of accuracy. We see examples of this taking place in the New Testament. It is possible then that Satan may have given Pharaoh's magicians the power to duplicate some of the signs performed by Moses and Aaron, but eventually he was unable to continue as his power pales in comparison to that of God.
The second possible answer is that the magicians simply created illusions similar to a stage magician today. It is possible that Pharaoh's magicians used sleight of hand and conjurer's tricks to deceive the audience into believing that they were performing the same miracles as Moses and Aaron. Snakes could have been done through snake charming, which was widely practiced in ancient Egypt, where they made the snake stiffen like a staff and relax on command. They could have turned water to blood by simply using red dye to make it run red. The frogs would be the most complicated to explain as an illusion, but just as modern illusionists can pull rabbits out of hats, Pharaoh's magicians could have summoned frogs.
At the end of the day, whether they were creating illusions or performing actual miracles powered by Satan, they were eventually unable to summon gnats, to turn the sky dark, to call down hailstones, or duplicate any of the other plagues. God's power is great enough to go beyond and defeat both the schemes of man and Satan's power with ease.